Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the little series we did shooting between the 5D Mark IV and the 6D Mark II. We're back with Kevin. We're in his studio. We got the files loaded up on the computer. We just randomly sifted through some shots. And I don't really know what this video is going to accomplish, but we can at least take a look at some of the shots and, you know, kind of compare image quality. We also did a little quick dynamic range test in here with some low light stuff and then some high ISO. We underexposed by like -1, so we're gonna bump those up and see how well each of these sensors compare. We gotta do this quick because you gotta shoot in like 15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes, so you gotta be quick, but...
we're just gonna run through like 4 or 5 shots. We're not gonna spend a ton of time.
The biggest thing I noticed though is that there's such, like in terms of like the outside, there's such little difference between the two.
Yeah.
There's very, very little. So okay, let's start off with the portraits by the fence that we took. So just click that. And
so we've got the 6D on the left, and 6D Mark II on the left, and the 5D Mark IV on the right.
Yep.
You're obviously exposed a little bit more, so if you want to bring the exposure up on 6D Mark II, I know we're using different lenses. Obviously, you've got more compression because it's the 85. If I was to do this again, we probably should have compared our settings a little closer, but it's all good. Zoom in on like the jacket detail. So the thing is, I can't tell if I'm just out of focus.
Oh no, there you go. So, yeah, the focus actually hit there.
But like, if you look at detail levels,
it's pretty close, man. Like it's
gonna be pretty similar.
I mean, I would like if I just saw just this close, I would assume, okay, yeah, it's maybe a different lens. I wouldn't assume it's like, oh, it's like a massive difference between like a $2,000 camera, whatever it is, versus like a $5,000 camera.
So the thing is here is like, you've got 4 more megapixels than the 6D Mark II. And so real world scenarios, you barely can tell the difference.
You can't really tell the difference there. Cool.
Okay, so let's move on to another one.
Oh, what do you know? Actually, this was my photo. This was yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you were back really far.
So I was back far.
Okay, well.
Well then.
So much for that.
Yeah, seriously, like I mean, like I can't really, I mean, it's a different photo, but I can't tell the quality difference.
That's the thing. That's the whole thing of this video. Like, is there really going to be a noticeable difference in a scenario like this? I think the biggest thing that we're going to really notice is in low light and different things like that. But go to the backlight shots.
Yeah, let's go. Let's check those out.
So when we were shooting in the backlight, I was having a problem shooting into the sun, getting focus with the 6D Mark II, and you were banging shots out real easy with the 5D Mark IV. So I have a feeling the autofocus system is a little bit better in backlight scenarios.
Like it would focus no problem.
So I'm on the...
So I am on the left, you're on the right.
Okay. Again, we just got color tone. Just the white balance was off a little bit.
Just a bit, but you can tell like mine's sharp. Like mine's sharp there. Yours is a little bit out. Like you had a little bit harder time focusing.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, we've already got to the bottom of the fact that the 5D Mark IV is a superior camera. The question is it worth the extra money? And that's the whole reason why we're doing this little scenario, because people can talk in the chats and the comments and say, oh, it's a piece of crap, dynamic range is garbage. But I think that we should go on to the shot where we did the tracking. Just quickly go through that stuff.
Pull up one of those and
now, from what we could tell in the back of the camera, is that the 6D Mark II somehow locked focus better, which was kind of weird. These are going to be tough to compare, but you know.
So, I mean, like that's fine. I mean, pretty much the same photo, just slight color difference. They're both. So like that one's mine. The left is a 5D image. The right is a 6D.
And the 5D Mark IV is 7.5 frames per second. 6D Mark II is 6.5 frames per second. So basically 1 frame per second faster. In a real world scenario, I doubt you're really gonna notice a difference.
Yeah. I mean, like if you're a sports photographer, these are not the cameras you should be buying anyway, right? So it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I mean, like even looking at these, there's not a huge difference. I mean, but let's look at another one. Like I want to say from like when we.
Do you have any where you got closer?
Okay, so that's mine.
So now you're more.
Mine's way sharper than yours.
Yeah.
And we both had it on AI servo.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
I don't know. It's just gonna be a back and forth, literally the same thing.
Considering the price difference though, like keeping that in mind, it's really not bad. I mean, like it's almost got me questioning, like, well, was it worth the amount I paid for a 5D4? I don't know, but like I mean, like I do this for a living, so I want like great gear. But I mean, like there's like I don't shoot stuff like this terribly often, so I mean, like, if in the right light controlled situations, the 6D Mark II is gonna do you just fine.
Exactly.
Cool. So let's move on to these ones.
You zoom out just a little bit. Did I have the 85 on at that point? We swapped out at some point.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, let's find out. I think we actually use the same lens.
Okay. I know we switched at one point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did use the 85 and I used the
Okay,
50.
so the closer one is, that's probably why it's sharper too.
Yeah.
We noticed some front focusing issues with the 50 millimeter on the 60 Mark II. We calibrated it after though.
Yeah.
Again, like we're in decent lighting, properly exposed. You're at ISO 2000 there.
I'm really impressed with how close the 60 actually is holding up. Like to the point where some of these I wouldn't be able to tell. Like once it's edited, I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, you'd never be able to tell.
Yeah.
So let's go to these dynamic range tests then, because this is where we're gonna have to really play around with these files and see where they end up at. What we did is we did 100 ISO, 400 ISO, 3200 ISO, and 6400 ISO. I put them all -1 under, and I guess we'll boost them up, and then we'll take a look at the noise levels. And this is where the 60 Mark II from my previous tests weren't that great, so just bring it up +1.
Up +1.
Yeah. Why is the white balance different?
I guess
One's 7,000 and what's the other one?
both the same.
Weird.
Yeah.
So they're both the same white balance. So the closer one's obviously the 5D Mark IV.
Yeah, it's
because it's high resolution.
Yeah, it's noticeably better there.
Interesting color tones though.
Yeah.
Can't really tell the noise levels. Oh, maybe the lamp you might be able to tell.
Yeah, the lamp, there's a little more noise there than in the 5D one. The 60's got more noise than the 5D.
Can you actually see it?
Yeah, I can see a little bit there. There's a little bit of noise there. I don't really see anything there.
Crazy.
Cool.
So that's obvious. I've already compared that in my other video. So not compared to this camera, but the noise levels. And I noticed that at 400 it got better. It's really interesting to see the color differences.
Yeah,
same lens. We're using the Sigma 85mm. There's more yellow. It looks less natural actually. Mm-hmm. This to me, the 5D Mark IV on the left looks more natural.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just, once again, like there's, like it's clearly better on the 5D4 here. I mean, once again, like it's a way more expensive camera.
Yeah.
But it picks up just more detail.
3200, so now we were getting into a little bit higher ISO to see the dynamic range. This is where the 5D Mark IV should probably crush the 60 Mark II. Wait, when I say crush, I just mean, better. I'm like, it's not gonna crush it. The noise is finer on the 5D Mark IV.
Yeah.
But there's still the same amount of noise.
Yeah.
It sucks because of the resolution is a little bit higher. It looks zoomed in. It's tough to tell because it's actually amplifying it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, let's go to the last one. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Sorry for holding you up.
Oh, no worries, man.
If this video doesn't prove anything to you, at least it was something to watch, right?
This is where, you can definitely tell that the 60 here has a lot more grain to it.
It's starting to look a little bit mushier too.
Yeah, it's looking a little mushy, but the 5D4 also has some grain to it, but it looks a little finer. Like it's still usable.
Yeah.
But in the 60, I don't know if I would use that.
Mm-hmm. In a studio, you would never do this. Though.
Yeah, no, in a studio, you'd be using proper lighting. So and these aren't extreme situations where you'd be shooting photographing events or it'd be any low light situation, right? Like
we're zoomed in 1:1 here anyway.
Yeah.
No one's gonna be when you zoom back out,
no one notices that.
You're not gonna notice it. But go up to the lamp. It's interesting that the 60 Mark II is brighter, but
yeah,
could have just been off of it. I'm seeing some weird noise between the lamp and the lamp post.
Yeah,
I guess you're seeing on that too.
Yeah, a little bit there.
Like a shadow.
Yeah, it must be a shadow.
This is where I guess we'll kind of come to some kind of conclusion. If you shoot professionally and you need the autofocus system is a little bit better in this. Obviously the focus points are spread further, there's more zones. So obviously for the focus system, you're gonna get probably a little bit better low light. You get your shutter that can go up to 1/8,000th of a second, which the 60 Mark II can only go up to 1/4,000th of a second shutter. So if you need the shutter, dual card slots, 4K video, I guess, because it does have 4K video. We didn't talk about the 4K video just because you can't compare the video, right? Obviously the 5D Mark IV is for professionals, but I guess the question that that people have been asking me is, do I upgrade to the 60 Mark II coming from a 5D Mark III or even coming from a 6D? And that's the tough thing, because if you're professional, say you even want a second body, like I know you have a 5D Mark III, and personally I think that if you're shooting professionally, it probably makes more sense to buy a 5D Mark III even used with low shutter count as a backup camera, there's no reason why the 60 Mark II can't be your backup camera. Like, you're gonna get great shots. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing that people need to realize. That's kind of what our video is proving, is that you're gonna get great shots either way. They're pretty similar in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, like, it's just a couple features that's missing and $1,600 difference.
Yeah.
And obviously the flip out screen, I don't know. We talked about that in the
Some people
alley.
love it, some people hate it.
In the alley, you can get down low and shoot live view. Both have dual pixel autofocus. They both have, you know, pretty similar ergonomics. The 5D Mark IV obviously has these buttons on the side, and no joystick for selecting.
That's annoying. So I mean, if you have the money, you like the extra features, 5D Mark IV is dope. Otherwise, the 16 Mark II, why would you not? The value's awesome.
And that's the thing. It depends on who you are.
Yeah, no,
That's really all it comes down to. And I don't want to be that person to make that call. So I think we'll shut the video down here. You got to go. And thanks a lot. And thanks for sticking around, because, you know, we needed to look at this stuff, right?
That's true. That's true.
Whether it actually proved anything, I don't know. Check Kevin out on Instagram, and I'll put all the links in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down twice. I'll see you in the next one.